You are now checked in to Stand Up New York Labs. Oh, yeah.
Hey, Mark, fake banter for the intro.
That's all I know how to do.
Great.
Good to be here.
Welcome to Tuesdays with
Stories.
Hit her in the face with a surfboard.
And then the duck fell out of his bag.
Surf's up. And she didn't even flush.
Knock, knock.
Who's there? Mark Norman and Joe List.
Yeah! This is Tuesdays with Stories, everybody.
Yeah, that's terrible.
This is supposed to be cheesy.
My radio is spitting at me.
Hey, we're back with Tuesdays with Stories. Mark Norman here with my old buddy
Joe List.
Oh yeah, boy oh boy, we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Woo-wee! Jeez, Joseph, I've been in your hometown of Boston.
Beantown. What a great city.
Great city, and
I'll defend it to my death.
I fell in love with Somerville. I had no idea what Somerville was.
Oh, Somerville's great.
Great time. By the way, do Bostonians get upset if I use the accent? I feel like I was pissing a few people off. Maybe they thought I was mocking them.
Yeah, I think it always comes off mocking.
I didn't mean it mocking.
Yeah. I think but it's fun to talk like people when you're in that place.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I think it comes off that way.
And I picked up a little, I called a guy a fucking homo. The fucking is different.
Yeah. The fuck is it's a deep. It took me years to stop talking like that.
Well, I think you should own it.
And then it became cool. I don't know if I told this story before. When I was like, I got like made fun of so hard for saying bathroom my whole life when I was a kid. And my friends would make fun of the bathroom. You fucking, what are you, British?
Right.
And so I had to be like, I'd like sit in the mirror. I'd sit in the bathroom being like, bathroom.
Interesting.
Bathroom. One of my earliest bits, I had an idea. I was like, when I was like 13, I was like, isn't it weird you take a bath in the bathroom? Shouldn't you take a bath in the bathroom? And it was like a bit, and people were like, no one says that, you fucking... So I had to like curb the way I talk. Yeah. And then like Good Will Hunting came out, it became very cool to sound like that.
Yeah.
And then kids that would make fun of me for saying bathroom all of a sudden sounded like a Kennedy.
Well, there you go.
So it's very, very strange. But
yeah. Well, I've noticed you when you say drawing.
Yeah, I have trouble with my R. That's the thing of the Boston. I add an R. Like I say vodka. That's the part I haven't been able to get rid of.
Yeah.
I'll say...
I like that.
I'll say vodka, cranberry, or brar.
It's such a weird place, Boston, because it's almost like a different country in a weird way. It's almost like the way you feel in Canada. I feel in Boston. Everyone talks different. It's different kind of people. It's very strange.
See, I feel at home. No matter how many... The longer I'm gone, the more I get there, I'm like this, I feel like a load off my back.
Right.
It feels like home to me still.
I do a lot of thinking about Boston. It's an interesting city because it's full of the smartest people in the country, MIT, Harvard, and then it's full of these like drunk townies.
Yeah.
It's a crazy mishmash.
It really is. It's maniacs. That was always evident. I would always go to the Dropkick Murphys shows around St. Patrick, and the shows would be on Lansdowne Street, which is like the nightclub scene. So you'd have all these nightclub kids and all these Dropkick Murphy kids mixing together, and it was really tumultuous.
Yeah. My friend Jono was telling me he saw... I was hanging out with Jono Zalay, funny comic.
Wonderful guy.
He was telling me he saw the most quintessential Boston thing. A hipster was riding a bike, and he bumped his bike into like a big towny beefy guy. Yeah. And the guy knocked him off his bike and put his foot on his chest and said, "What are you going to do now?" And the guy said, "Please stop, please stop." And he said that was about it.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
It's a very fighty
Yes,
town.
very. I have a theory that funny people come from places where they're scared of getting beat up.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that certainly is the case for me, for sure, my whole life. I didn't realize, I thought that's what, I think I've told this story before, but when I first started going on the road, I would be like, where do you guys go to watch the fights?
Right.
And people would be like, what are you talking about? Because in Boston, you go to Lansdowne Street or the alley or Faneuil Hall, and you just see people are just fighting each other.
Yeah.
It's not even a thing. You just go, we'll go watch people fight.
Right.
It's everywhere all the time.
Yeah, New Orleans was like that too.
People are just beating each other up.
Yeah.
It's really, that's the unpleasant part I hate about it. But
it puts a fear in the back of your head, I think, all the time. Like, I don't want to be that guy getting his face smashed in the concrete.
I saw a guy, speaking of which, outside the alley, which is where the Comedy Vault is. But I guess it's gone now, actually. But nor would I want to plug that club anyways. But this guy was beating up this guy, he knocked him out. He was laid out on the street. This is very gross.
Oh, boy.
Laid on the street, unconscious. The guy grabbed him by the shirt, pulled him up, and fucking wailed him one last time, unconscious, which is how you kill someone or turn them into a retarded person.
Oof.
Like being punch when you're already unconscious is
It's the worst.
unbelievably dangerous.
It's hard to watch, too. There's nothing worse than seeing a helpless guy dangling and getting hit.
literally the worst thing to
It's-
watch. It
it's
makes
the
me
worst.
sick. So that part about it, I hate. But yeah, maybe it made me who I am.
I think it
Scared,
helps.
scared
I
comedian.
mean, if you grew up in San Diego on the beach, you'd be a different guy.
That's where Jono's from.
There you go.
Be Jono.
Yeah. Boy, I feel like sorry we just jumped right into it. I should say thanks for all the listeners out there. We love you, boy,
Oh, yeah.
and the nice tweets, and keep listening, and more to come. We've got some ideas, people.
Yeah.
We got a few tricks up our anal, so it's only uphill from here.
Yep. Downhill, I think. No, uphill. No, I don't want uphill. I think you only use downhill for. No, I think that's good.
Wait a minute.
It's all downhill.
It's all downhill. Isn't that a bad sign? You'd think it wouldn't be bad because uphill is tough.
It's good and bad because you can go. You've gone downhill.
It's a bad. It's a bad phrase.
But it's all downhill means good.
no, all downhill means bad.
No, all downhill means it's good. It means like it's like if you're driving a car, it's all downhill from here. Good.
Oh.
Uphill is tough. But
I thought it meant bad. Like, oh boy, we lost Johnny. It's all downhill from here.
maybe you're right.
Doesn't that sound? Oh, the mill burned down. It's all downhill from here. Like everything's starting to crumble.
Oh, right. But I think I've heard it used in context. Call in.
It makes more sense to say downhill is a good thing.
But it does work like, don't worry, it's all downhill from here. Like, meaning it's easier.
Yes.
It's an easier hike. It's an easier
That's what I'm
climb.
saying. But I think it's actually taken the other way.
I think it can be both. Well,
Yeah, please.
nobody's
right?
calling in yet, but
Send
sure
in
they will.
Send in Chipotle if you know.
Right.
Well,
Chipotle gift cards.
yeah. Yeah, so also come see us at Grandma's Basement, December 20th.
Yeah.
Ooh, I hope this makes it by then. It probably won't. Shit. Well, you missed a hell of a
Probably will.
show.
No, we got.
All right.
Who knows?
All right. Well, yeah. Good to be back. I just did the Boston Comedy Festival, and I was telling you this earlier. What a great town it is for comedy. John Oliver sold out the Wilbur. Comics Come Home sold out some huge theater, and we sold out the Davis Square Theater.
Yeah.
It's insane. That's a lot of comedy.
Yeah. It's wonderful.
So yeah, it was three rounds. You know, the first round, the semis, and the finals. I had a tough go because I'm such an idiot. I'll say yes to anything these days. So I said yes to the Boston Fest, and then I said yes to the Hell Yes Fest in New Orleans. So I did the Boston Fest on Monday, advanced to the semis, had to follow a little person, which ain't easy if you don't do comedy.
Right. We should mention it's a contest.
Oh, I didn't say that.
Yeah, it's if we call it a festival, it's a contest where there's 3 rounds. 96 people compete.
Yes.
For $10,000.
Yes, winner take all.
Winner take all, which is silly.
Yeah.
So you cut it down from 96 to I think 32, then down to 8.
Exactly, yes. So I'm in the first round. I have to follow the small guy. It went okay, but I had to reference him. I mentioned something like, oh, I hate to be the guy following him. Yikes, blah, blah, blah. Small world, you know.
Last time I was in a contest with you, you had to follow a handicapped woman.
Yes.
Yeah, you get
And I
tough draws.
Took that bitch down, too.
You took her down with no jokes.
Yeah. Pretty proud of that.
I just amazing.
I just pointed at her and I was like, well, I have no chance. And that killed.
blew it up. One of the
Yeah.
biggest laughs I've ever seen on a stand-up comedy stage.
That was fun. I ended up winning that whole thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had to follow the little guy, and I advanced somehow. I advanced, and he advanced too. And you have to stand on stage after you advance and like wave to the crowd.
Right.
And I hugged him and picked him up and fell over. I accidentally
wow.
fell over with him on top of me, so he's flailing his little arms on my chest,
I picture him stuck on your face and you can't get him off.
right, like a bat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was furious about that because he was like, "You could have broken me." I was like, "Yeah, I guess that's true."
Right.
I forget they're fragile little bones. you know?
Right.
So that was a weird experience.
Little Bones is a great nickname for
Little Bones,
for a little guy.
maybe
Hey.
like a midget jazz singer.
Hey, Little Bones, LB.
Yeah. LB.
You don't know what it's like to have
But,
Little Bones. All right.
There was a headliner at the Boston Fest after you decide the winner, and then it was Paul Nardizzi.
Tremendous
Tremendous
comedian.
guy. He goes out, and the first thing he said, he kind of tripped to get on stage. He goes, "Sorry about, I'm not going to do the accent, but he's like, sorry about that. I tripped on the small man. Somebody was blowing him." He called him a small man. I love that.
That's great.
I love that only because that means he took the time to go, well, I can't say midget.
Right.
I don't want to say little person. Small man.
Right. Paul Nardizzi is one of the
Oh,
funniest comics
So
ever.
funny. So yeah, I advanced and I flew down to New Orleans, partied it up like a madman there, stayed with my parents, played with my brother's kid, which is crazy.
Yeah. I was playing with my brother's kid in the previous episode.
You have a brother?
Nah, my sister's kid.
Oh, sister.
As I was saying that, I realized I don't have a brother.
I was like, this is a whole new angle about you. I don't know. So, yeah, play with the brother's kid. New Orleans is a weird place because you can't not get hammered every night. It's just forced upon you. It really is. It's the whole city. That's all it is. And it's a beautiful city, and I appreciate it more now that I'm older.
That's how I feel about Boston.
Yeah.
You went from my hometown to your hometown.
Yes. And, boy, wildly different cities. It's weird that we kind of met. We had different upbringings, different cities, northeast, southern, but we really connect.
It's all Seinfeld.
It is.
The television program Seinfeld has united us.
I think it's Seinfeld, comedy, and atheism. That's our holy trinity.
Yeah, you left out racism, but I'm joking. It's a joke.
Things have changed.
Jesus Christ, it's a joke.
I joined a group. We're trying to fight it.
By the way, we are the Cal Ripken of racial insensitivity. Every episode, there's something.
Well, I mean, I don't want to go off on a tea-fueled tangent here. This caffeine is kicking in. I have got to shit like an animal. But we joke about race because we're not racist, you idiots.
Right.
Don't you get that?
Right.
We talk about it. It's like if you're in gym class and there's the one retarded kid, you make fun of everybody but the retarded kid. Well, hey, I'm not treating blacks like retards.
Right.
All right? That's my motto. I'm treating you like everyone else because you're not different. Well, you're different, but you're not weaker or whatever.
I don't know about the listener, but I did not follow that.
I'm saying you make fun of the equals.
I agree.
You don't make fun of the unequal. So I'm saying we're all equal. Let's make fun of each other.
Make fun of everybody. I'm for it.
All right.
So where are we?
We're
in New Orleans.
We're now in New Orleans, boozing every night, and so all day in New Orleans, I'm hanging out with my parents because I never see them. So it's just all it is in New Orleans is fighting hangovers. That's all. You're just doing stuff and trying not to be hungover.
Right.
That's your whole day in New Orleans, and that part is miserable. But the food's fan. I had gumbo every night. I bought a po' boy. Walked around the French Quarter, had a blast. Drunk driving again. I miss drunk driving.
Yes, good fun.
And then the shows were great. I got to be the hometown hero. I was getting some eyes from all the old friends who I looked up to, and they're still there, and I love those guys, and it's a good time.
Yeah.
Great festival. Todd Berry was down there. Jezelnik. Good times. Yeah.
A lot of firepower down there. That's how I feel when I went to Boston. It's a similar thing. You're back. Hey, everybody! What the fuck? Ba-ba-boo.
Yes.
Great fun.
And then, so I had to go back to Boston to compete in the semifinals, which was tough. This was a murderer's row a little bit.
Yeah.
And I advanced on that. Then off to the finals, sleeping on Dan Bolger's couch. Former guest.
Yeah.
Sleeping on his love seat, by the way, which ain't pretty.
No.
Love seat is not made for love.
No.
Wait, sleeping.
Right.
There's no love.
Love and sleeping are interchangeable.
That's true. But yeah, it's just, it's not built. There's a big arm on the right, there's a big arm on the left, and a 3 feet in the middle.
Yeah.
It's not right.
Yeah, it's like you're a Tetris piece.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
And we all like the long, skinny one. Nobody wants the jagged.
Yeah, the long skinny is the best. Maybe an L.
Yes, I'll take an L or a square every now and then, but
right.
nobody wants that twisty, jagged fucker.
No. It's sort of like an 80s metal S.
Yes.
That,
Yeah, I got it. But what's weird about contests is if you start advancing, it's all you can think about.
Right.
Like, so I'm hanging out with Bolger, we're eating lunch, we're at a bar, we're hanging out, we're shooting pool, and I'm pretending like I'm a normal person, but it's actually, I'm just going, all right, I'm going up against this guy, I hope I don't get first spot, I hope I don't get last. You're just thinking about that the whole time, so when it ends, you're so fucking relieved.
Right. I'll tell you this, I had zero doubts that you were going to win that contest.
That means a lot to me, and I saw a lot of the pools, and I had number one, but that's how these things go.
That feels good. I was 100% sure. So take me to the finals, because we haven't really talked about it.
Okay.
I talked to you during the day. I thought I'd give some motivational speeches. I'm behind you. I believe in you.
Thank you.
I'm excited. Your happiness is my happiness. You go to the finals. What happens?
So we get to the finals, and it's I got to tell you something after the mics are off. But we get to the finals, and it's it's in this beautiful theater. There's probably like 900 seats. It's sold out. Mark Maron's walking around the green room. Emmanuel Lewis is getting some kind of award. Webster.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And so I'm in the green room with all the guys. There's 8 of us. We all pick. And I get third, which is pretty good.
Great spot, yeah.
Great spot. And the crowd's hot. The host is killing. We're all pacing. Everybody's nervous.
Who hosted?
Jim McHugh. Tall guy. I think he owns the whole fest.
He runs it, yes.
Okay.
His baby.
Because they had a oversized novelty check with his name on it.
Yeah.
Like from Jim McHugh. Mm-hmm. So, the first place, does great. Second guy kills. Mike Baldwin, hilarious guy. He wins a lot of contests. I was actually a little nervous about following him. And then I went up, had a great set. And it was one of those things where, like, everybody I knew there was like, you got it. That was the set you needed. You're going to win it. And I was like, maybe I will. 10 grand, baby. Oh, I should say, backstage, we did all the comics did a pact.
Yeah.
Because 10 grand is a lot to give to a winner. So we said second place will get $1,000. Third place will get 500.
Right.
So that was the pact. And contest goes on. Everybody pretty much kills. No bombs. They announced the winner. The Dark Horse. I can't remember the guy's name. Nice kid.
Alignon.
He wins the whole thing.
Sounds like a medical issue, Alignon.
Yeah. How's that tumor? It's Alignon.
Yeah.
So we're all on stage, and you have to smile like an idiot, Alignon, he won. We're all like, oh, good for him. We're fake clapping. Yes.
Right.
They hand him the big check, and then the host, Jim McHugh, was like, all right, and he goes, wait a minute, I want to say something. He grabs the mic, and we're like, oh boy, what's this about? So he goes, I'm going to cut the money in half. It was like the Solomon story. What is it? King Solomon, cut the baby in half.
Right.
So we're like, wait a minute, what's going on here? He's like, I'm going to give $5,000 to charity. And we're like, all right, well, I guess that's nice. Okay. And the whole crowd, woo, Boston strong. They're going nuts. And the other $5,000 I'm going to give to the comedians. And we're like, oh, wait a minute. That means he's going to cut it in half that means we'll each get like $700. And then we get backstage and we're like, well, wow, $700. We all get it. It's pretty great. And he goes, no, I mean all the comedians, all 96. So then somebody gets on their phone, does the math. That's $50 a piece to every comedian.
I thought you were going to say every comedian that there is.
Yeah.
Like 38 cents each.
Right. Richard Jenny. You get $50.
I got bad news about that guy.
Oh, boy. Did he quit comedy?
Okay. Sort of.
Ooh. All right, so yeah, that was that, and so we all went home with our tail between our legs, feeling like idiots. We all were mad at this kid, but he's a good egg. He's a nice guy.
Right.
He'll go far.
See, I was in New York's Funniest the week before. I had the same exact experience.
Let's hear it.
Same thing. No money involved, not as much money, but at Caroline's, sold out. I had the set of my life. I've been doing a contest for years.
I heard
and
you
I was
killed.
like, this is it. I won. I'm the winner. Same thing. Everyone backstage. You win. It's your night. You're gonna win it. And then they got ready to announce the name, and I'm sort of like, I have no doubt. I'm ready to walk up. I had a good joke I was going to do.
Yeah.
I was going to get on stage and go, I want to thank everyone for coming. I wish my dad was here. And I was going to point to the sky and then be like, he's not dead. He's looking for a parking spot. It's Times Square. It's very
that would have
difficult.
killed.
It was going to murder. I wanted to win just for that.
And the worst thing is, the guy who won is named Joe. So you heard the
Yeah.
Joe.
So they go, the winner this year is Joe. And I take a step, Mackey.
Oh, that stings.
And now Joe Mackey is brilliant, and his whole set I was dying laughing out loud. But it doesn't
so
matter
funny.
who beats you; it stings.
Stings.
And we were in Montreal together a year earlier, and Mackey had the world set, all-time best set ever. I had to follow him. He buried me.
Yeah.
So none of this is his own fault, and he's just a great comic and a great guy. But
Yeah.
it's like he got me again.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
he's Newman.
Right.
So, but fun contest, great night. And I had a quick Boston story. I hosted one of the shows.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a night you weren't there, unfortunately, which is a bummer. When someone's in your hometown, you always want to be there.
Oh, completely.
It breaks my heart for you to be in my town.
You feel like the
when I'm
host.
there.
You want to show them around.
Yeah,
It's my
and-
town. Let me show you what's good.
In my mind, and this is probably a self-centered thing, you can't have the most amount of fun possible in my town without me.
Ooh, I like that.
You can have fun.
Yeah.
If I go to New Orleans, I got to be with you, or
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not going to be as fun.
I can show you stuff you would have never known about.
Right, exactly. So it hurts me when people are in my city without me being there. But I host a show, just one quick snigbit,
Really,
whatever
that's
it is.
supposed to make it long.
I think it's pretty short, but I'm hosting the show. It's tough. You got to go up cold, and
Oh, yeah.
it's a contest, so you can't really riff too much. You don't want to be too dirty. You want to make it as good as possible for everyone else on the show. And I'm emceeing, and some girl sort of bombs, and I do a joke afterwards, and I try to get a laugh. It gets nothing.
Ooh.
And so I go, the owners of the festival asked me to come out here and just bomb after every comic to bring it down to a good level. That gets nothing.
Wow.
And then some guy heckles, "You nailed it."
Damn.
Huge laugh. Bah!
Wow.
The whole crowd. Have you ever had a joke bomb and then a heckler heckles you and that gets a laugh?
Have I?
Worst feeling ever.
It was called the 90s.
Yeah, I was supposed to bomb. You nailed it. Ah!
That's so
Huge laugh.
weird.
House laugh. And so I was like, you can't go like this. Fuck you, you asshole.
Right.
They love him.
Yeah. Well,
People are trying to get his name. They're taking pictures with him.
he won.
Yeah.
That was a lignon. Wait a minute, but the crowds were so hot all week. What happened? You must have gotten a rough one.
This was it was a tough one. I think that I don't know if it was. I don't know who's listening. I don't know if it was the strongest lineup.
Ah,
It was just a weird crowd.
Got it.
They did. It was okay, but it was never great.
enough said.
This is a tough night.
I mean, that brings me back. I might have told the story but I'm not sure if I have, where I went to the University of Southern Florida. I don't know. It was an all-black school. And I go up, and the opener was a hip-hop group. And they were spinning shirts over their head like, kill Whitey, motherfucker, yeah. And I remember the booker leaned over to me, it was this black chick, and she goes, just want to let you know the crowd's very diverse. I look around, it's all black. There's no diversity. I'm the diversity.
Right. I had this conversation about Philadelphia. People are always like, it's a really diverse city. It's black and white.
Yes.
That's not diverse.
That's not diverse.
You're going to have a bunch of colors.
Right.
Two fucking groups of people.
Skittles are diverse.
Yeah.
You know, if there was a white one and a blue one, it wouldn't be that diverse.
It's not diverse.
No.
Two's not diverse.
Two's not diverse.
No diverse.
No. So I go up on stage, and they're immediately when I walk on stage, they're like, who the hell's this guy? I haven't even gotten to the microphone yet. It was like a 20-minute walk to the mic. It felt like.
I hate those.
Oh, yeah. And I grab the microphone, and some guy yells out, look at this fag. And I'm in such a New York state of mind. I go, geez, what if I was actually gay? Like, that would be offensive. And he goes, no, you are. Kills. Kills. Like a 30-second applause break. People are high-fiving, rolling over. And I have to do 30 minutes after that.
Oh, I love it. I love definitively calling somebody a fag.
Oh, yeah.
No, you are, in fact, a fag.
Yes.
Oh, jeez, I can't argue with that.
It's like, tell them the Tom Dustin Shaggy line.
No, I'm not going to tell that.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Sorry.
geez.
Is that too offensive?
I think so.
Oh, fuck. I shouldn't
I
have
don't
brought
want
it up.
part of that. Tom can tell it if he comes on, but boy.
All right. I don't think Shaq will care.
Oh, well, I'm not telling it. That story, your story reminds me of, did I tell this story already? The Saget. I opened for Saget at the University of New Hampshire.
Jim Saget?
Bob.
Ah, Bob.
The new one.
Yes.
And University of New Hampshire, it's February. And I get there, it's fucking 40 degrees outside. There's a line around the corner outside. It's like snowing, it's 10 below. I'm like, why are these people outside? We get there, and they're like, yeah, there's a problem with the fire code or whatever. So they're waiting outside, but we'll have them in shortly. It's fine. They take me to the room. It's this huge gymnasium. It's like a fucking Division I gymnasium or whatever.
Yeah.
And it holds 3,500 kids. And I'm like, I should have brought my camera. This is going to be amazing. It's a big setup. Fruit. I have my own fruit stand.
I
or
love
whatever.
the fruit.
Yeah. So then, like an hour goes by, the show starts, they're coming in, they're like, yeah, it's running late. And the kids are still outside in the cold. So finally, an hour goes by, they're like, all right, they're finally in, we're going to start the show. The show's upstairs from where the green room is, so they're like, come on upstairs, they're like, leading me up there like a fighter. As I'm coming, I just hear, the whole room is shaking.
Oh, boy.
They're stopping. They open the doors up, double doors, it swings open, 3,500 kids chanting Saget.
Oh.
The whole room's chanting. They go, you ready for Bob Saget?
Oh, boy.
First, it's Joe List. I come out, and it's one of those stages where the stage is 300 feet, so I got to walk 150 feet to get to the mic. They're booing the whole time.
Oh, my God.
Boo! Like overwhelming, ricocheting
Wow.
through the gymnasium, like deafening boos. I'm just
Wow.
at the microphone. I can't even say a word.
Yeah.
So I'm just standing at the mic, hoping the boos will die down so I can say hello.
Wow.
So I try to do my act. They're just booing. They hate me. And at one point, some kid yells out, "Hey, faggot, bring out Saget."
Not bad.
So
Not a bad line.
Those are my exact words. I was like, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
And then I got mad, and I was like, your fucking hockey team sucks. I was like, here, what is hockey? Then they really erupted.
Oh, wow.
And I turn over to see the booker and Saget, and they're both laughing. Supposed to do 20. I'm at like 12. I was like, can I wrap this up? And they're like, yeah, wrap it up. I bring out Saget. The place goes ape shit.
Yeah.
That's the whole story. But
Jesus. Did you talk to Saget about it? Was he like, yeah, we do this all the time?
Oh, he loved it. He was fun. We worked together again. He thought it was fun. But
I hear he's a cool guy, but I hear he tries, like, if you bring a girl to the show, he's like, I'm going to fuck her.
yeah, I thought I might tell this story. I don't know if I told it on here, but we got in a weird thing. It was the most surreal moment of my life. We worked together at the Comedy Connection in Boston. I had my ex-girlfriend with me, and she brought a bunch of friends, and he's like, I'm going to fuck that girl. And I was like, well, that's my ex-girlfriend, so you're not going to fuck her. And he's like, no, that's the one I'm going to fuck. And I was like, what? I was like, you can fuck one of the other girls. I mean, they're all beautiful. What are you talking about? He's like, no, I'm fucking that one. And I was like, I was drunk and 24 or whatever. I'm like, you're not fucking her. That's what's happening. You're not fucking her.
Yeah.
And I'm like confronting Bob Saget.
Right.
Who's like my TV dad.
Yeah.
And I'm telling him, I'm arguing with who's going to fuck. It was the most surreal thing in my
Wow.
life. I was drunk. We were both drunk.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was crazy. We continued. He's like, I'm just fucking with you, whatever. So I was like, all right, yeah, you're fucking right. You're fucking with me. It was like this weird thing.
Holy boy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
You want to go too, Carl Winslow? Come on. I'll take you.
So you want to, well, whew,
I will.
tire.
I'll say though, the Boston contests, they bring out the weirdos. At one point I looked around in the green room and I was like, is this a comedy contest or a freak show? You know, there's like a bearded lady, the midget, a guy in a wheelchair.
There was an alien on my
An
show.
alien, yes.
The interloper.
Right.
He was a funny guy, and that guy, he's a guy, he's a Vegas guy, he's a funny guy, a really funny guy, and seemed like a super nice guy. Everyone I know really thinks he's a great comic and a nice guy, so I didn't get to talk to him too much, but you draw out of a hat to see who goes in what order. This guy, the interloper, draws number one. When you're hosting, you're not allowed to give any intro of going, hey, the next guy's an alien.
Yeah.
I just got to bring out contestant number one, the interloper. And a 7-foot alien walks out.
Wow.
So I think that sort of sent the show off on a weird...
That might have been it.
They were confused.
Yes.
I was awkward at up front, and then an alien comes out. So the whole thing was sort of off the rails.
Kind of takes the prestige out of a comedy show when the first guy's in a costume.
Right. It was sort of bizarre, but he's got great jokes.
He does have good jokes.
So...
Yeah. So yeah, I did this string of colleges, and I had this. Tell me if you ever had this. You know, flew to Fort Myers, got a rental car, drove to Orlando, flew to Denver, flew to Aspen, drove back from Aspen, got all the way back to LaGuardia, and I have a show in Long Island. So I had enough time between the show to go home.
Yeah.
So you're home, and you're like, I finally made it home. You got that airplane grease on you. You're tired. You're half awake. You know, you're like, I just want to lay in my bed and be done with it. And you got to go straight on a train to Long Island.
Yeah, see, this is what we were talking about off air. You got to start thinking about these things and saying no to stuff.
I know. I got to say no.
You work too hard, and it's not good for you. I try to take Sundays off, or those days. You got to look for it in the calendar and go, oh, I got offered this spot, but I'm fine for 8 days in a row here. I gotta be home.
Yeah.
Cuddle up with your gal and relax.
But talk about a bomb. Holy moly. We take a train out, me and Schumer. This is a crazy thing. I meet Amy Schumer at the Penn Station. She's at a bar just with like 8 cops around her.
Oh, wow.
Just having a beer, and these cops just watching out, like keeping a lookout, head on a swivel. And I'm like, hey, and they're like, whoa. And she's like, no, he's all right. So I go in, we have a beer, we had some time to kill. And part of me is like, why are we taking the train? You're like a thing now. Why are we?
Right.
And she was like, I can't remember. Oh, she said it was a Friday night. There was too much traffic, so the train would work. So the cops walk us down to the track, and the cops go, hey, these two are all right. Free ride. From New York cops, just like, yeah, these guys are talking to the conductor. So we get some seats on the train. I tell her a couple stories. We have a good time, like an hour train ride. We get to Westbury, Long Island. We get a car pickup to a country club, and I'm talking, this is oak trees, mossy,
Mossy,
right
nice.
on the lake, beautiful white columns, you know, the big cul-de-sac driveway up top. People are waiting. They come out, and they're like, yeah, go on up here. We got the whole second floor is your green room. Whole second floor of this country club. It was insane. And they're like, yeah, go downstairs. There's tons of food. So we got all this food on a buffet. We go down, and they're like, all right, you're going to go up and do 20, and then she'll do an hour. And I was like, all right, great. So this is like, you know, she's from Long Island. This is hometown for her. And so I go up, and it's just a ballroom of drunk old white people, a lot of plastic surgery, a lot of boob jobs, a lot of suits and, you know, sparkly dresses, fake tans. And I go up and eat it. And it was one of those gigs that was so bad. The whole time I was wondering when I could get off and eat my plate.
Right.
Because I made the plate. You know, shrimp.
Right,
I got a
right.
sandwich, I got steak, I got filet mignon, I got little sliders.
Right.
And then they're like, oh, you're on. And I'm like, I got this plate.
I've had that.
It's the hardest thing to leave.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring the plate on stage.
Right.
So
You're going to eat it. You might as well eat that.
Yeah, exactly. So I go on stage and I just bombing. And it was like that thing you said where you're like, look, I'm funny. This works. You guys are wrong.
Yes.
Fuck you. I hate you.
Especially for me now, especially with the iPhone where I record all my sets, I want
Yeah.
to just put on the previous set and hold the mic to it.
Yes.
From killing. Same words, people laughing.
Yes.
You guys are assholes, and I have it recorded 100 times over here.
Right.
I have 100 recordings of this joke killing.
Totally. So I end up just bombing for 20 minutes. I bring her up. She kind of has to fight with him a little bit. And
she
then
tweeted that night that she bombed. I saw it on Twitter or something. But
Yeah.
relative bomb, I guess.
it wasn't that big of a bomb, but I think for her, she's like, I'm going to go home and murder with my friends and my relatives and whatever.
What was it, do you think?
It was just these rich guys. Like last year, they had Robert Klein. The year before
Klein.
that, they had Richard Lewis. Like they just have so much money that guys are like, I can't say no.
Right,
It's a real
right.
shit gig.
Right.
So I just pigged out after and got hammered, and then rode back. But what a tough time that was.
Right.
Rich Whitey might be the hardest audience.
Yeah. I've opened for Susie Essman a bunch, and she has that sort of well-off Jewish New York audience, and they're
Right.
very judgy.
Yes.
And they can see this. We talked about this in the previous episode, that corporate thing, or they can see, they're like, I feel like maybe it's just in my head, but they're not laughing, so there's something real. They're just like, who is this guy? What can we
Yeah.
learn from this guy?
Yes.
This poor dum-dum.
But the weird thing is, I stood at the bar pigging out with my hands, and I was drinking a scotch, and this guy comes up and he's like, they didn't like you, but I liked you, or something bullshit like that. And I was like, yeah, that was a tough room. And he's just telling me about his life, and it was the saddest thing I've ever heard. He's like, yeah, I come here every day to play, to get away from my wife. I play golf here. I'm like, oh, what's up with your wife? He's like, she's a fucking cunt. I hate her. And I was like, oh, what do you do? He's like, I do some hedge fund shit on Wall Street. It's miserable. And he's this loaded, handsome, rich guy, but he just hates his life.
Yeah, you start to learn that most people in this country are either rich and miserable or poor and miserable. And I was thinking about it. That's why vacations are known as getaways and escapes. Somewhere we're not living properly, where a vacation, they have to advertise it as an escape.
That's
The
true.
same thing you would use for a prison break.
That's interesting.
I gotta get away. I need to escape.
But I feel like I don't really like vacations.
What do you mean?
I like I get antsy. I like being busy. I like working.
Yeah, but you're telling jokes for a living.
That's true.
These
yeah.
people are fucking. Well, those people, I don't know what the hell they do. They're
Yeah.
stealing money from us somehow, it seems.
Yeah.
And then other people are doing manual labor.
Yeah, they could use a vacation.
So it's it's tough. But you missed out on the all your travels. You missed the New York festival.
I know. I missed the whole thing.
And boy, it was a hoot. There was a real buzz around town. I was here. Michael Che did a show downstairs at Stand Up New York.
Yeah.
Line around the corner. Last or 2 Friday, whenever it was. These are coming out late, but we had Stand Up New York had 5 shows, all packed.
Wow.
2 upstairs, 3 downstairs. It was crazy. I was
Wow.
with Che in the office, looking down at the line. They're waving up like he's the Beatles.
Wow.
It was insane. And Comedy Central had a big party they have every year. We missed you this year at the party.
Where was it this year?
This year, it was on a rooftop. A lot of rooftops happening in our
Love a
lives.
roof. Love a roof.
It was like 38th, some hotel. I forget what it was called. Sort of like the Garment District. But cool roof, free booze, free food, free everything. Great party. I had a weird thing with Jay Farrow of Saturday Night Live.
Oh, yeah.
I had a little precursor. I was hosting a bringer show at Caroline's, which is, new comics bring audience. They get on stage by bringing people. And then we have, guests show up. Daryl Hammond was there. He brought Jay Farrow along. And I didn't recognize Joe. I don't watch television, really. So whoever the booker was like, this guy's on next. And I was like, hey, what's your name? And he was like, Jay. And I was like, Jay what? And he was like, Jay Farrow. And I was like, I still didn't recognize the name. I was like, what do you want me to say? And he was like, Saturday Night Live. Like, he was like, I'm on SNL. So I was like, oh, shit, sorry. And that was like months ago. So then he walks into this party, and I'm like, I think that's Jay Farrow. And he goes, Joe! And I was like, how the fuck does this guy know? But he said my name, so I jumped out and gave him a big hug. I was like, hey!
Oh, God.
Big hug, shake into a hug.
I'm getting nervous.
Then I realized Michael Che is behind me. He said, oh! To Che. I intercepted his hug. And I went so big that he thinks that we're friends. It's this weird thing, we're both looking at each other. But sounds like Joe. And then everyone I was with was like, no, that was definitively an O.
Ooh.
But I thought he was like, Joe. So I was like, what's up?
Oh,
I gave him like a crazy, and I blacked it up. I was like, what's up, motherfucker? Like, just give him like a big hug. He's got no idea who I am.
Yeah.
Vice versa. It was so embarrassing. And then it was one of these parties, tons of industry. Everyone's somebody. And there was a girl there. I have no idea who she is. She walks up. She's like, hey. I'm like, hey.
Oh, yeah.
I give her a big hug, same thing. And she's like, it's good to see you. I'm like, it's great. I don't know if you have this. I just start firing off as much words as I can.
Oh, of course.
I'm like, it's a great party. I'm eating thing. I had a hot dog. I put the hot dog up in a bush. There's ketchup on it. I hate mustard.
Jay Farrell's here.
I went to a baseball game. I'm just saying weird shit.
Yeah.
And then she goes, how was yesterday?
Oh, boy.
And I go, are you kidding? Yesterday was the best day of my life. And she's like, it worked out, huh? And I realize she's talking to the wrong person because I'm going in my head as I'm talking. I'm like, what was yesterday? I did a college the night before with Gulman, so I was like, but no one referred to a nighttime show as yesterday.
No.
So I'm like, this woman has the wrong person. She thinks that I'm doing something that I didn't do.
Right.
So I just give a very broad answer. Yesterday was terrific. What a best yesterday of my life. And then she's like, oh, that's good. And I feel like she's she's starting to realize I'm not who I say I am.
Oh, boy.
So I just said this is how I get out. It's so embarrassing. I go, I got a bathroom thing happening. And she's like, okay. And I just walked away. And then I left the party earlier than I wanted to because I didn't want to bump into her again.
Wow.
I grabbed my coat and get the hell out of there.
Jeez.
That's how I am at industry parties.
Isn't that sad how scared we are? At any other place you'd go, who are you? Sorry. But we're so scared of pissing the wrong person off or fucking something up that we have to fake it.
I do it all the time, and they're in the business, so I'm scared I'm going to upset someone.
Exactly.
That was another thing I did at the same party. It was sliders, and the woman serving the food was sort of cunty in a way. I was like, what is this? And she's like, a slider.
Ugh.
And I was like, well, all right. I just took it. I bit into it. It's got tons of mustard in it. To me, mustard is a food that you need a warning.
Interesting.
This thing has mustard in it.
See, I love mustard.
A lot of people love mustard, but to me, it's not like a piece of cheese where people are like, I'm in, whatever. It's
okay.
Mustard's like, you can't just say it's a slider and then there's mustard in it.
Right.
So I had a bite, I hated it, so I hid it in a plant and.
Oh, yeah. The old plant hide.
Yeah, it was a whole thing.
I've been there.
Great party. I wish you were there.
Yeah. Any highlights? Did anybody get sloppy or fight?
I left pretty early, but
Okay.
I'm sure it was fun because there was a lot of industry, but there was a lot of comics there, and our whole sort of crew was there.
Yeah. That kills me. I live for those parties.
I know, you love those parties.
Damn it, I hate missing stuff. It's a big part of my life.
But anyways, yeah, so that was fun. But I got a couple non-show business related things. Can we talk about that?
Let's branch.
A lot of homeless stuff has happened to me.
Homeless?
Yeah, homeless folks.
Okay.
I'm on the subway a couple weeks ago, whatever it was, a few days ago, and there's this kid who's like a really handsome. He looks like a weird Barbie doll guy. He's like a really baby face, real handsome, well-to-do, like a really expensive suit. I don't know what suits cost, but I could tell it's like an $800 suit or something.
I gotcha.
And he's got like tassels on his shoes. Probably 20 years old. Really,
Wow.
I could tell he comes from like an Ivy League type guy. He looked like an Ivy League suit.
Oh, yeah.
He's the kind of person you would describe as a suit.
As a suit.
Yeah, he walks in. He's got a
real
baby
stiff.
face. He sits down. He says it's like a blue velvet suit or some shit. Then a homeless guy, white homeless guy, crazy beard, and like a big backpack and another thing. He's like this. He's a maniac, and he sits down. And this kid tries to make small talk. He goes, "Boy, you look like you're prepared for anything."
Oh, big! Don't open the door.
The guy's like, "Whoa!" He goes, "You look like you're going on an adventure." And you can tell it's like this kid trying to be like this liberal thing.
Yeah.
It's just this bullshit. What a fucking... I hated this kid.
Yeah.
Again, I have a weird class issue. I don't know why. I just hated this kid in his dumb suit and his pretty face.
Yeah.
And now he's going to like make small talk with a fucking mentally ill person who's
Right.
down on his fucking luck. Boy, you look like you're going on an adventure, which is so pretentious.
So
and
pretentious.
What's that word I'm looking for? It's condescending.
Yes.
And there's another word. I think it's a C word. I can't think of.
Well, you know what it is? This kid, everything goes well for him, so he's like, here's another thing I'll strike up. This will go fine.
Yeah. And he goes, boy, you ready for anything, huh? And the guy's like, yeah, do you have any change? And the kid laughs condescendingly, no, I don't have change.
Ooh.
Says it just like that.
Ooh.
And he's like, but I hope... and the guy goes, do not talk to me any longer.
Wow.
It was great. I loved it. And you could see the kid like shit his pants.
Really?
And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. And he goes, don't talk to me. Don't look at me any longer. And I loved it. I'm on this guy's side. I feel like I have more in common with this guy than that guy. And the kid just trying to stare at the ground. And now the homeless guy is staring at him like a fucking death stare. And I'm loving it.
Wow.
And this kid he's doing that thing where like, that I do all the time where I'm trying to look around, like I'm not looking, but like see if he's still staring at me.
Yeah.
And it was so great. I agreed with this guy.
Yeah.
Stop talking to me.
Wow.
It's just by chance that we're existing in the same world. We live in different fucking worlds.
Right.
He's patronizing is the word.
That's the one.
Very patronizing.
What an image. You got this dirty hobo and then the fucking clean-cut handsome guy.
It's New
Crazy.
York. It's like your park bit, which I love, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Great bit.
It's that's the beauty of the city. Everyone just thrown together.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I watched that documentary, the New York Central Park 5.
Oh, I saw that in the theaters.
You saw that in the theater?
Yeah, I saw it at the IFC.
Boy, I don't even know that's a real roller coaster.
Yeah, fascinating.
But it's crazy because it was just this Upper West Side meets this horrible, fucked up part of town. They're just right on the border of each other.
Yeah.
And these people have to commingle in the park. The park is like their pot to stew in.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Crazy.
That park at night.
Ooh.
It's scary, especially back then, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
So then that was at 49th Street is where that started. I had another incident at 49th Street here in Times Square in New York City here. And I'm coming down with my girlfriend. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. We're getting on the train. I hear, "Fuck you, motherfucker. I'll fucking kill you. Fuck you. Fuck." This crazy fuck you thing. And so I sort of grab my girlfriend before I'm going to swipe. I don't want to just swipe and walk in there. Now we're stuck in there.
Right.
And we're so close to the edge. If there's a fight, I don't want to get pushed. So I'm sort of holding her back. I'm looking out to see before we commit to this subway station. I want to make sure there's not a murder happening. And it seems like the coast is clear. The yelling stops. So I'm like, all right, let's go in. We swipe. Now we're in the station, and there's just two white kids just sort of chatting, and like a white girl. And so I'm like, who the hell was fighting? Maybe they were joking or whatever. And I just see like a MTA employee, like a closet slings open, and it's an old black MTA worker with like a vest,
Yeah.
comes out of this closet dragging a shovel,
Oh, my God. Jesus
walking
Christ.
slowly with a fucking huge shovel, and he swings it up into his other hand like a battle axe.
Yeah.
And he goes, "You want to fucking keep fucking with me?" And the kid goes, "Ah!"
Wait, he's a
Jumps up-
kid?
Yeah, he's like 20, like a 20-year-old kid.
Wow.
Or maybe he's 21. Probably 21. He's probably drunk. He goes, "Ah!" Jumps out of the bench, runs straight up through the turnstile, out the subway station. Had already
Whoa.
swiped. Leaves. The guy's just holding a fucking shovel.
Wow.
He's gonna hit him with it. He goes, "Yeah, that's what I thought, bitch." And he drops it back and then just walks back, dragging the thing.
Whoa.
And I was like, that guy is fucking
Nuts.
had enough.
Yeah.
He has had enough of his job, of his
Yes.
city, of his money situation.
What do you think he was doing?
I think the kid was probably just like, "Yeah, clean it up, you fucking ass." I don't know what he was doing. He was just like this, similar to the kid in the suit. I'll just fuck with this guy. I'll just fuck around with a guy. And this guy was like, "Do you know what my life has been like? I'll fucking kill you with a shovel."
Oh, my God.
But the dragging of the shovel, it was like a fucking horror movie.
The dragging.
It was
yes.
crazy.
Holy Moses.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
What a town. That's so funny you bring that up because just yesterday I was on the phone with the lady and I'm walking down 6th Avenue and we're on the phone and I walk past a McDonald's and there's two guys headlocking each other pressed up against the McDonald's window like, "Come on!" And everybody in the McDonald's just eating and watching them and it's all glass windows. So I'm just like, "Oh, that's crazy. I should probably watch this. I gotta get to a spot." And I just kept going.
What's weird about New York and it's amazing is we see so much shit like that and our lives are so crazy, you just forget about stuff like that.
Yeah, but it's insane.
Nor if that happened in Hanson, Massachusetts, people would be telling that story for years.
Be in the newspaper.
It'd be in the paper, I forget. I'm like, "Oh yeah, you know what? I forgot. A guy fucking dragged a shovel. I forgot about it until now."
Right.
Oh yeah, there's a guy dragging a shovel, threatening a child who ran crying.
It's great. You say it so eloquently. Like I can picture it all in my head when you're saying it, but I would have forgotten all about that.
It's nuts. I forgot. That's why I got to take notes for this podcast.
Yeah.
And then that same night, same spot, there's like an old Irish guy, drunk on the ground, covered in his own piss. He's passed out at the subway. It's like Saturday night in Times Square is fucking wild.
It's bananas.
It's a wild scene. Everyone talks about how cleaned it up it is, but there's still fucking animals.
Oh yeah.
This guy's just passed out, is covered in piss everywhere. He sits up, goes, mate, and all of a sudden he just goes, and you see shit appear in his pants. He shits his pants, diarrhea shits in his pants. We watch it happen, and he just falls back down. And he's not even like a bum. He's just like a fucking guy who got crazy drunk.
Yeah.
And probably woke up at like 9 a.m, covered in his own shit and piss, and has to like emerge from the subway somehow, covered in shit. And you're like, that guy's got a fucking problem.
That guy's got a day ahead of him.
Yeah, that's a tough day.
He'll be in a Starbucks bathroom before you know it.
All been there.
That's where they go. But yeah, you know what's kind of fucked up is I never told this story, but I was on the train once and I passed out drunk. I was on the G, and I passed out, and I came to like a couple hours later, and I was like, and this guy next to me goes, dude, you gotta be careful. And I was like, well, I'm fine. I'll just get off whenever. And he's like, yeah, there's a couple guys putting their dick in your face.
Oh my God.
And I was like, what? What a thing to wake up to.
Oh,
and I was like, are you fucking with me? He's like, no, I tried to stop them. They were like young teenage hooligans. And I was like, did the dick hit my face? And then he's like, no. And I was like, thank God.
Wow.
Can you imagine that? Anything can happen to you when you're passed out.
Yeah, so this picture's somewhere of dicks in your face.
Possibly, yeah.
Wow. I have one last quick homeless thing. I got a whole homeless chunk over here.
Lay it on me, Hobo Joe.
I was, this has happened a couple days ago. I was in Albany, and I watched a wonderful documentary called I Am by Tom Shadyac, who directed Ace Ventura and Bruce Almighty,
yeah.
Nutty Professor. And anyways, it's a great documentary. I recommend it. It's free on Netflix. You'd love it. It's called I Am. And so that whistle was hilarious. So anyways, I watched the movie. I'm like, I'm going to do good deeds. I want to help people and feel good and help other people, like make the difference. And I see this homeless guy collecting bottles and cans in Albany. I got 3 empty soda bottles in my car. He's collecting bottles. I'm like, I'm going to give these soda bottles. So I walk up to him with 3 empty bottles, and I'm like, here you go, sir. I got these empty bottles here. And he just goes, and he has empty bottles. That's all he has is empty bottles. So he knows,
Right.
and I was like, they're worth money, empty
Right.
bottles, as though he was going to be like, oh shit, I'm sorry.
Right.
Give me those. And so he's just growling at me, and I'm like frightened now. So I just sort of like toss him in the direction of I'm like, there, here you go.
Yeah.
He picks him up. He just starts banging him on the ground. Like he must have like crazy OCD. He wanted to
Yeah.
get all the soda out of it. He's like banging him on the ground, going like he's not just like a guy down on his luck. He's like obviously like a mentally ill person.
Right.
So I'm like nervous. I'm like scared of this guy. Just get in my car. I realize I have $9 in change in my cup holder. I could have just given him I have a $1 bill, which is worth 10 times as much. I could have just given him a 5 or something. So I realized my good deed for the day was throwing garbage at a sick person. That was my good deed. And I just drove off with no feeling of like, I did a thing. It was just like, Jesus, I'm a fucking asshole.
You meant well.
Yeah, I meant well. But instead of giving him 15 cents, I could have just given him, $1.
Right.
But anyways, I'm trying to do well.
Yeah, we're trying.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Boy, I guess we better wrap it up here.
Yeah, well, I had a thing with a homeless guy once. You ever have this one where you they turned it on me? I had it leftovers.
They do that.
And I said, hey, buddy, I was trying to do the right thing. I was like, you want this? It's good stuff. It was like a solid meal. It was like Indian food with pita and everything.
Right.
And he was like, what is it? And I didn't see that question coming at all. I was like, huh? Oh, it's Indian food. And he's like, Indian food? I don't want that shit.
Yeah, that happens.
And in my head, I was like, what are you, insane? When are you going to get Indian?
Right.
When are you branching out?
Right.
All right, and getting foreign items.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's good stuff. And he's like, I don't want that shit. And I was like, come on, it's good stuff. And he knocked it out of my hand.
Oh,
so now none of us get it.
Jesus. Yeah, some of these people are unstable, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So what happened to me one time in Chicago, I gave a woman like a big pasta dish, and she was like this, put it with the rest. And I like looked over and she like moves, and like behind her there's like 4 meals. I thought I was like this hero. I was like, I'm gonna give her a meal, but like 8 other people had already given her meals and not appreciate it. So it's hard because you want to do good deeds, but then you realize to these people you're the enemy. You're just someone that's living this great life, and which is, I guess, to some scale the way I felt when I did this gig for Millionaires. Everyone's, you sort of blame the people above you for some reason.
I guess so.
I don't know. I got to work on it, but it's hard because you want to help people, but some of these people are. They need more than just that. In their mind, they're like, this is almost patronizing that you're giving me you're giving me a meal? I'm fucking broke. I'm dying.
I know, but every sign it says, help me. So you think help me is the way to go.
Of course it is. I think it is, but I think it's hard for them to be like, a lot of times they're like, God bless you and thank you and they're appreciative, but sometimes you're going to get people that are fucking out of their minds. They've been living on the streets of New York for fucking 30 years.
Yeah, well, you ever drive by and you see the sign that says, will work for food?
Right.
You think anyone hires them?
I think years ago they did. Maybe in like
years ago.
Southern California or something. The Mexicans over there. I think that happens. I think that happens. People will do that.
But you think anybody's driving by going, well, I need my living room painted.
Right.
I don't want to do it, and I got a couple steaks. I'll hire this guy.
I don't know. I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either.
No.
Yeah, I always hear about old people hitchhiking. Like, in my day we could just hitchhike.
Yeah, that happened all the time.
That's crazy.
Yeah, my buddy Fred Cantor, who's 62 or whatever, he said that was just a thing. That's how you did it.
Wow.
In Israel, I had some friends visit Israel. That's just how you get around. Like he landed in the flight, and he's like, "How do I get here?" They're like, "You take this bus to there, then you hitchhike from there to there." Without irony, they're just sort of like, "Yeah, you hitchhike from here to there."
Weird.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think it is? Do you think we're crazier now with the killing and shoot a guy, or do you think it just gets documented more now?
No, it's all fear-based. I think it's all media. Everything's you're supposed to be afraid of everything. The media and the government, they all want you scared.
Interesting.
But I mean, it's also, I think it was just as dangerous now as it was then, I guess.
But
now it's so taboo that
yes, we make it seem
people
so
don't
much
do
worse.
it. Now the people that would be doing it are probably drug addicts and crazy, whatever.
I remember when I was a freshman in high school, my dad was driving me to school, and we passed another student walking to school, and my dad was like, "We should pick him up. He's a student. He's a fellow student. He's going to be late." And I was like, "Nah, keep going."
Right.
And I still feel bad about it to this day.
Huh.
I could keep going just because I didn't want to have to talk to him.
Yeah, that happens.
Because he was out of my clique.
That happens a lot, yeah.
I still feel... So if that kid's listening, I'll give you a ride anywhere you want to go, buddy.
Right. When I was in Peru, I went to Peru, and we're going to wrap it up here, but when I was in Peru, our tour guide had like a driver. We was driving us in a van. It was me and my ex-girlfriend, and we're hanging out. And without telling us, they just pull over and pick up a whole family. These people were walking, and they're walking. We got to get to the top of the mountain or whatever. And just like 20 people came in. My girlfriend had to move to my lap.
Yeah.
And they were just stacked on top of each other.
Weird.
And there wasn't a thing of like, hey, we got to pick these people up because it's the thing. They just grabbed them. So it's weird. Some of these third world countries, they're doing things better than we are, really.
Yeah, well, we're so progressive and scared now. Yeah. We need to go back to the community, to the old way.
You do need community. So that's the lesson. Let's all be kind to each other.
There you
Everyone
go.
be a little kinder to everyone. And
yeah, this country is all about me, me, me. You got to fight for myself, worry about myself. But come on, help somebody out.
Pour me a drink.
There it is. Don't try to give a hobo Indian food.
Right.
That's the lesson of the day.
Boy, another fun episode. We hope you're enjoying this show as much as we enjoy it.
Yeah, that flew
we love
by.
it. We love it. Don't we love it?
I love it. I love coming here. I love the room, and I love Stand Up New York.
Yeah.
Great club.
Matter of fact, if you want to get 2-for-1 tickets, visit standupny.com. Use the promo code STORIES, STORIES, and get 2-for-1 tickets. It's a great club, killer club. Mark and I are both here often. And follow us on Twitter at Tuesday Stories. We won't bother you too much. We tweet here and there, but there's a ton of you listening, and I can't tell you how much we appreciate it. I feel like George Bailey every week when they tell us how many people are listening.
Oh, yeah.
So thanks for listening, and we love you. Be kind, and tell a friend.
There you go. We love you.
All right.
Have a good week.
Love you.
Bye-bye.